All right. Well, I am super excited. I didn't even ask Haley or Lindsay about who was going to introduce Hunter, but so I'm just going to kind of do it. So I hope y'all are okay with that. But this guy is near and dear to me because if you guys have heard my story about how this strange guy contacted me after I pressed the promoter button at like 10 o'clock at night and said, "Hey, have you had your welcome call yet?" And I was like, "Joe, there's like a strange dude like messaging me, asking me if I've had my welcome call yet. Like, I don't even know what that is." And so lo and behold, I said, yes, I can talk in 10 minutes. And thank God Joe listened to the call with me because Hunter has an amazing story, but the way he plants the vision for it, it literally is to me part of why I am where I am, because he planted that seed so big for me. Because I definitely was not a believer in all the things. I just wanted to thrive for free. So he did a great job of helping Joe see that vision, which of course helped me. So I am going to go ahead and let him take it away. And I told them before you hopped on, Lindsay, that Hunter is who actually got you started. So literally without Hunter, none of us would be on this screen right now. So that gives me chills just in a nutshell. So, and you are responsible for all of it, Hunter. So thank you. So I'm going to let you go ahead and take over.
What's up, guys? So I'm Hunter. If you guys don't know me, me and my wife started Thriving September of 2014. So it'll be 7 years this September. Seems like yesterday almost, like a lot has changed, but like I can't believe it's already 7 years. Golly. And remember what I told you, Teresa, if you see yourself 5 years, 10 years from now, you know what I mean? Like here we are. So how we got started was my wife was, I don't want to say a typical woman, but I feel like this market is driven by women because women are always seeking the next best makeup, the next best hair product, the next best, lip, whatever, and my wife was definitely one of those. And she always kind of in the back of her head thought she was struggled with her weight, so, weight loss products. I mean, like literally this woman buys hydroxycut off the internet. Like, I'm like, what are you doing? So needless to say, she had a cabinet full of stuff. I think it was like her high school PE coach or something messaged her, and I immediately shot it down. I was like, you know what? Do all the stuff that's in your cabinet and then come back and talk to me. But we didn't really have the money, honestly, and there was no point in spending more money on something that probably wasn't going to work. So why do it? And we just didn't have it. So fast forward about, honestly, I don't know the time frame. I think it was like 3 to 4 months after that. Who is my upline, Jenna, reached out to me, and she was somebody I had met when I first moved to Texas, and I've known her for a long time. I've known her since she was like 16. But anyway, she had reached out to me via Facebook message, asked me if I knew what Thrive was, and I was like, well, my wife mentioned it to me, but give me your spiel. And she did, and I'm like, we're just not interested, thanks, but no thanks. Couple weeks went by and Jenna kept messaging me and my wife kept nagging me. And the good husband that I am, I called Jenna and I'm like, hey man, give me some of that product. I was like, I'm just going to go ahead and prove you both wrong. I don't have to hear about it no more. End of story. Day 3 Thriver for me. I had a really hard time falling asleep. My mind's always going. Like I could literally lay in bed at 10:30 and probably not close my eyes and fall asleep till 2. Like I just had trouble sleeping. So then being construction and I roping around horses, you compound that all together and you're just like a walking zombie for like the first 2 hours of your morning because you need your Dr. Pepper, you need some sort of other sugar factor, you just need to get your motor running. And on day 3, I'll never forget it, I woke up and I panicked because I thought I snoozed through my alarm so much I was late for work. And I looked down and I still had 20 minutes left till my alarm went off. I immediately texted Kelly. She was a school teacher at the time. She like got up at like 4 o'clock in the morning and was at school by 6. Yes, crazy, I know. Like most people get there when they're supposed to get there. She was like the early bird. But I messaged her and I'm like, how are you liking this Thrive? She was like, honestly, I didn't stop to get a coffee. I didn't stop at Sonic and get my whatever she got or Red Bulls or anything like that. She's like, I really like it. She's like, I didn't know about it day 1 or day 2, but today is different for me. I don't know what it is, but today is different. I said, me too. I said, I feel awake. Like I feel it's super, like I've never felt this awake before in my life. So fast forward again. We skipped the whole customer side of things because Chelsea McClyman, who I got Lindsay on a 3-way call with, we went to a local and she told me that there was, no hidden fees. You could sign up for free. You could earn your product for free, and you can do that as a customer as well. But as a promoter, you can earn it. You can earn a little extra side cash just for referring to customers and getting your product for free. And then she kind of went into the bonuses, and that kind of like went in one ear and out the other because let's face it, how often do we get a bonus working? Like most companies don't. And in the construction field, it's very rare. So like hearing a bonus, like I heard it, but it didn't really register. I just heard free, earn a little bit of money. It doesn't cost me anything to do it, and that's what I did. And we bought the promoter pack and off we went. Now, with that said, I'm also a guy that's like, why not? Like, let's give it a shot and at least try and see what happens. I'm not going to just sit on it because I have had friends in this same space, well, with a different company, do fairly decent, I would say, looking back. And so I know it's there, right? I just didn't know what to do. And we just hit the ground running. Like, what do they say? Like ignorance on fire. Reached up to my upline all the time, sent out messages, text messages, called people, messaged Lindsay through via Facebook, Reddit, no reply. And I will say this to you guys, do not be addicted to the response because it will fry your brain, right? Like you get so involved in that you miss other opportunities. So like when I messaged Lindsay, I literally was just doing what my upline said. I didn't care whether she said something or not. Like I literally sent the message and moved. And I just did that over and over again until I started getting responses back. And finally, like a week later, she wrote me back. She's like, hey, so sorry, blah, 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 blah. Sounds interesting. Yeah, when can you chat? I'm like, well, when can you chat? And she's like, well, if I remember correctly, she was going to a Ducks Unlimited banquet and she had like 20 or 30 minutes of drive time. And she's like, I'll be in the car in 15 minutes and we can chat then. I'm like, cool. Who can do a 3-way call? Like I was panicked, And Chelsea's like, I can do it. And I didn't tell Lindsay I was doing that. I was just like, I'll call me in 15 minutes. And she did. And I was like, hey, what's up? Long time no chat. She's like, so what's this Thrive thing? And I'm like, hold on 1 second. And I just merged her in. I said, Lindsay, I got my friend Chelsea on. She can probably relate to you a lot better than I can. Here you go. And then that was it. Like I just muted out and Chelsea went about it. And Lindsay was probably pulled out her pistol out of her purse and was pointing at the phone, ready to shoot me. But look what you have today, right? Because I literally followed the system, and I did that repeatedly. And another thing I thought I did pretty good was I got out of people's way. Like I pointed them in the direction and told them what you could possibly get out of this, whatever you wanted. And I gave all my upline contacts to Lindsay. Did me and Lindsay talk every day? Absolutely. But if there was something that I wasn't sure of, I didn't pretend like I knew. I'm like, hey, you might want to message Chelsea or you might want to message Letitia. By the way, tell me what the answer was because I don't know it, type of thing. So I plugged her in, right? You got to plug people in because I'm a guy, right? Like I can tell you point blank, I can be like, you got to do this, you got to do that, but I can't get into a mind of a woman. Y'all are complicated. So the best way for me is to let women plug with women, right? I mean, this whole MLM or direct sales is women driven. There's guys in here that do really well like me. And if it wasn't for you guys, yeah, Joe, I see you back there. If it wasn't for y'all, I would just be another guy. But I was really good at plugging promoters in. Now, y'all took it and run. and I'm not going to say you're not going to struggle through your business, because you will. Some people don't. I mean, some people have little struggles that is just personal, but some people really struggle at just growth, or you had growth and you're reversed. So this is part of my story, is like I'm in a rebuild season, and it's taken a while. Like I'm talking, in this business, you got to have thick skin, you got to have patience, and you got to have humility, right? We literally had like an 80K team like get mad about something and then try to blame it on me. I had nothing to do with it, but I got blamed for it, and they literally dropped, like fell off. What do? Do you give up? Do you just be like, I had my shot? Nope. You just keep going, like a little bit, even if it's a little bit. You just got to keep moving forward somehow. And it may even seem like you're paused, but if you're reaching out or posting stories or sharing your product or doing a short little live or whatever, that's forward progression, right? You got to keep doing it, and eventually it will catch back up to you. Literally, Kelly's really good at grabbing customers, and I'm really good at landing them on the promoter end of it. So it's really good if you have somebody that you can connect with like that, whether it's your spouse, a BFF, sister leg, your upline, downline, whatever it is. You got to find people that are really strong in your weakness, right? And Kelly's really good at the stories, and like I said, this is a women driven deal. So me posting stories, people are going to see them, but they're not going to relate more. Guys suck. Like they're so hard to get to thrive. I mean, I've been doing it for 7 years, and I can probably count on two hands how many guys I've personally signed up. It's taken me years to get a guy at my deer lease. 2 years it took me to get him to even sample, and finally got him as a customer, right? I mean, it's just hard, but you just got to put your head down and go. I'm not here to say like this back here was easy peasy. You're looking at me like, well, you've earned $1 million commissions. Well, there's two sides to that story. There's the good side. I'm looking at the team. That's the good side. And then there's the blackleg side, right? That is super hard work for me. Like it just is. Like it doesn't come easy for me. It doesn't come easy for Kelly. It's a lot of work, and it's a lot of work to keep them motivated. And it just is what it is. And I tell you that because in my head, are we doing great and blessed? Absolutely blessed. Like I don't even deserve what we have. However, I know what we're losing too, because of just life that happens. Like you can't control people's decisions. You can't control what goes on in their life. You really just got to pick yourself up, focus on you and what you have going, and plant seeds of things that you want to grow, right? And you just got to keep coming back and being consistent and watering it, checking on it. This business has evolved, and you have to evolve with it. Does the 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 still work? Absolutely. But can you just survive on that? Maybe. But you got to get involved on social media. Like I'm learning that. Like it took me till Thrive Palooza and like seeing it and seeing a couple of live videos on it, writing it down, and then finally just sitting down and having like Kelly show me how to do it. Like, am I still great at it? No, but it's definitely driven traffic for me, which it makes people read stories more than they read your post. Like I feel like nowadays, like people like flip through the stories and watch, and because I don't know, like I feel like people do this with their Facebook, but on stories like they'll watch it because it's like a little glimpse of a commercial of a show coming up, so you're gonna be like, ooh, what's that? Looks interesting, So like you just got to evolve, and you got to keep moving forward. Other than that, what else do you want me to talk about, Teresa?
I'm going to let Haley and Lindsay pipe in really quick.
Okay.
I would love to hear about, how Kelly and you support each other. I know you said you guys do, you're strong with getting new promoters and she's strong with getting customers, but I know a lot of people struggle with spouse support. Can you speak on that a little bit?
Yeah, I mean, granted, well, if you take it back to the beginning, I wasn't very supportive of her wanting to do the product, right? But once I did it, it was game over. So I mean, we're just fortunate that both of us love it. And we've been doing it. We have an awesome support system up and down, sideways, all kinds of things. All I can say is, I mean, it's got to be tough. We have personal promoters on our other legs that the spouse, I wouldn't say isn't supportive, but they're not like, like, come on, just go, and we hear about it. And all I can say is you gotta be the support system for them, right? Like, you gotta be there for them all the time because they don't have it at home, right? So that's the main thing is you got to find out I ask them questions. If you don't know who they are or if they're struggling, you'll find out eventually and be like, hey, what can I help you with today? And she's like, well, Brian, I'm just making up a name. Brian, he doesn't really see the business. Like, do what Teresa did with Joe. Like, get him on a call with a dude or, another woman that's husband is supportive, and let him hear that story. Maybe he might do it. Maybe tell her to make him do the product and just make him do it. But outside of that, I really just feel you have to surround that person and they got to have support probably more than anybody if they don't have it in the home, right? You just got to be there for them.
Yeah, I think that's perfect because I know some of you on here know my husband or you've met him. He's not in the business, but he is in the business because I would not be successful if I didn't have a supporting partner at home. Yes, I'll take the kids while you go do 3 Zooms back to back. Yes. I'll have the kids for 2 days while you go and travel because, after the first year, we started traveling a lot for locals and growing teams. And I would literally fly and try to hit so many new growing teams. And you do have to have a supporting spouse or significant other, I don't want to say to be successful, but to be some kind of success in this business, because you can't do this completely alone. Without locking arms with somebody to help you. And that goes hand in hand with uplines. And I love the fact that Hunter told you guys how he really opened all the doors with relationships with everyone above him for all of us to meet, get to know, utilize. I mean, so many people forget that you have a line of leadership to help you grow your business. And I said this on a Zoom last week. I was like, shame on the hamster wheel of ending the leadership at a specific level and not letting that go further up. A lot of people do that and it's not out of purpose. It just happens, right? We get so caught up in, oh, we have this team and it's my team and I'm the leader of the pack and nobody needs to know anybody above me. You're wrong. Everyone knows Hunter is my upline. Every guy I bring into this business, I have Hunter talk to. It's kind of one of those things. I would not be here today if I did not have that opportunity to learn from so many different personalities and kind of just perspectives on this business, perspectives on the product, and stories to utilize. So I love that you kind of, you said that and you brought that into this because I feel like that is a big deal for people. I think some people also feel like their leaders are too busy for them. And you guys, that's a lie. I get that all the time. Like, I know you're so busy. No, I'm not. No. I mean, I actually am very busy in life, but I'm not too busy in this business to not do anything. Right. And it's kind of funny because the larger team that you start having and that you start growing, the slower and lonelier it kind of gets, because you've done such, we've all, like all of our leaders have done such a great job with bringing in strong leaders and teaching them this whole, like how to grow and how to be a leader, that we're not needed as much as we were, even a couple years ago. So do not ever feel like you can't reach up 3 or 4 people above you, even if it's for a three-way Facebook chat, or just to be like, hey, want to introduce myself, I live in Missouri, I know you're in Florida, but I can't wait for our paths to cross. You guys, relationships are huge, and you never know who you might need. And Hunter did that so well, you guys, and it's almost been 7 years, but it feels like a lifetime ago, but it feels like yesterday. It's so crazy, but I did have something and I kind of just forgot because I went on that tangent. I guess kind of real quick, if you want to leave it to maybe like 2 things that you have done with your red leg, with your black leg, but like maybe something in your personal business. Because I feel like there are people that feel they need to be in the spotlight to be successful, and they need to be like social media professionals to be successful. And it's kind of one of those things where I know you are one of those leaders that you're not any of that, and you are successful because you just kind of stay in the back and do your business. I kind of want you to share with everybody like how different people can still do this business without being in the limelight and become a Lavelle millionaire. Because I feel like that's such a false pretense of people coming into this business feeling they need to know that, or they need to be that.
Yeah, you don't have to be like Instagram influencer to be a Lavelle millionaire. I was in construction, right? Like, I mean, I had Facebook, I had Instagram, and I still don't know how to use them. Like, Haley Monk is a genius on Instagram and all the story things that she does. I don't know how to do that. I mean, I just don't know how to do all that. And when we started this, honestly, you know what? You know how we became successful was just duplicating the system. It was reaching out, getting them on the phone, VIP 800, right? I mean, that's really the nuts and bolts of the whole package. And like what Lindsay said about the 3-way calls in your uplines, if you're just using one upline and that person has a pretty big team and you need that person in an hour for a 3-way call, but they have everybody going to that person. And a lot of people are like right now people, right? It's like the microwave thing. Like when they're ready to order or they're ready, you got them in the zone and they're like, yeah. And you're like, all right, when can I call you? And they're like, in 20 minutes or an hour, I'm getting off work. I would love to know more about it. And you can't get that one upline on the phone with them. And now what do you do, right? Now you're like, you talk to them and you're new, so you don't have the confidence. You're probably going to lose that customer for a little while, right? Because you missed your opportunity. But if you had those uplines, you can be like, oh, you're not available. Okay, I'm gonna go to the next one. I'm gonna go to the next one. And you're gonna find somebody that can hook it up and it just boom, 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 and it just happens, right? So like I've never been in the limelight. Like I don't even think anybody knew who I was, when I became a Lavelle millionaire or whatever you want to call it. They're like, who's this dude wearing a cowboy hat on stage grabbing this sign? They're like, where'd you come from? I'm like, yeah, Texas via Florida. But yeah, I don't like it. Like I like these I get nervous doing these because I don't want to say the wrong thing and do all that. I'm just not a limelight guy. Like, I like staying back. I do my business. You know, sometimes I slack on my business and I'm the only one that's at fault for that. But in the background, when we got how we became successful, it was just grind. Every day we grind. We sent out messages. We weren't at first, because we didn't know any better. We weren't addicted to the response. When somebody was like, yeah, tell me more about it, we got them on the phone somehow, some way, and did a three-way call. When a new promoter signed up, we got them on a three-way call, or welcome call is what we called it. Teresa is she told you that story in the beginning. And just painting a picture for them, like, get your product for free. Let's find you 2 people that want to join you in your business. I will paint the picture of what that looks like, you know, week 1, week 2, year 1, year 10. You know, I mean, the biggest thing that I said to Teresa was like, we're not even worldwide yet. Like, and it's, what was it, 2.5 years old then, you know, and I didn't know we were going to be $1 billion company within a year. And like, you just really got to put your head down and work. Like, you don't have to send the perfect message. You don't have to say the right thing, because what's the saying? You're not going to say the right thing to the wrong person, but you're not going to say the wrong thing to the right person. So just say it, like, put it in their face, message them. Like, I wouldn't, like, now we don't hound people as hard. You know what I mean? Like, just pound on their instant messenger all the time. Like, I'll reach out to them and be like, hey, you know, I saw you like my post. Are you interested? You know, we got a deal going on, or we don't, or Lavelle's offering this or whatever. And if they read it and don't say anything, I just move on, you know, and give them a little bit. And if they like something else, just give it to them, because I feel like there's so many direct sales companies now. Like, I didn't realize, like, when we joined Lavelle, like, I knew there were some, but then once you become kind of big and you kind of start paying attention to your surroundings, like, all these suckers start popping up everywhere. So people get tired of it. So you really got to develop relationships now, I feel. In our state, when you're brand new, I would hit the ground running. And whether or not you have 15 million MLM people in your network, I would message all of them, you know, and just be like, oh my gosh, girl, I got the best thing in life. I've tried all those. This is it right here. This is it. Message me, you know, and just move on. Keep moving. But you got to send the message. You got to follow the system. Don't complicate it. You got to be consistent. You got to have patience. I mean, patience was a big one for me. Like, you want it right now, right? You want it right now. You want it right now, but it doesn't always happen that way. It seems like it from the outside looking in, but it's not like that. Like, you gotta pay your dues. You gotta hump it. You gotta trust yourself. You gotta believe in what you're doing is another thing. And don't compare your journey to somebody else's. Like, my journey is not the same as Lindsay's. Mine is not the same as Teresa's or Haley's or Dana Chuva's or Maria Dillard's, or, you know, any of these people. Like, my world's different from their world, right? Like, the people that we're associated with are different than your people. Things just don't happen the same way for everybody. So trust what you're doing, believe in what you have, and use the tools that you have at hand. And that's what we did. Like, we didn't have all the promotions and all these things that Lavelle does now, because they're capable of doing them because of what they have grown to be. We just did it, like, what do you call it? Blood, sweat, and tears. That's how we grew. But it's worth it. Like, 3 years in, to be able to say, hey man, peace out, 9 to 5, you know, extremely blessed. I mean, there's no other word, but we worked. I'm not going to say we didn't, because we did. I mean, there'd be nights when me and Kelly, we'd get done. I'd look at her and it'd be like 10:30. I'm like, what did we eat for dinner? She's like, I don't remember. That means you're working, right? Like, you're not worried about all the other jazz, because you want to build a future for your family's family, right? Like, that's what it's about. And you're worth it. somebody on mute.
I did just now. I was waiting to see if they were unmuting or not. Well, I appreciate you so much, Hunter, and all of your words of wisdom. It's funny because I loved hearing it all over again, just because it's just a good reminder of really nothing has changed as far as what we do, and it's never going to change. So, it's just one of those back to the basic things. And it's just a good reminder of how we got started and the vision that was painted, because the vision is so big, and the more we plant that for people, just the broader that they see things. Because I know I had very small glasses that didn't see a lot when you first talked to me, and I remember your follow-ups were like telling me how close we were to Maria, who was the top producer in the company. And like, it was those little seeds along the way that I was like, oh, wow, like we're that close to like the whole like owner of the company, and it was those little seeds and the comma paychecks and things like that. And speaking from somebody that didn't collect a lot of money at work, that was like a big deal for me. So, and it was those things that kept driving me forward to always have tunnel vision for the next rank, always have tunnel vision for the next day, the next person, the next, instead of worrying about who we talked to today that didn't answer. So I appreciate you. And I know our team appreciates you and everything that you do. And we just love you, Hunter. So we just wanted to make sure everybody knew who you were and heard the story. So we appreciate you.
You're welcome. And I'm here. If I'm not friends on Facebook or whatever, like Lindsay said, I'm no better than the next person just because I have a sign behind me. I was in your shoes once too. I still am. I mean, I'm not out of those shoes. Like, if you want to build, you got to kind of stay in the VIP 800 mindset. So every day, every week, we're still in the same shoes as you, right? Depending on your goal. So hit me up, message me if you got questions. I'm here. I'll do the best. I'm pretty quiet, so I'm not going to necessarily reach out to you, but I'm here. You guys know me. Find me, call me, text me, whatever.
Thank you. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.